Three, two, one. Hey, this is Shiloh Rat Rodders. Great to be with you here this morning. We had a great time this weekend at South Mountain at JJ DeBoss's event. That was wild. Arm drop racing. That was cool. Uh, and things didn't work out as we often plan. But hey, anyways, I put my old raggedy hat on today because this was in my recovery period. Not only recovering from mental problems, substance abuses, and as well as serious physical health challenges. A good friend of mine gave me this hat, and I saw it hanging up on the wall, and I'm just going to rotate a little bit. We're in the mad scientist laboratory of all things. And this here is my row of hats. I still don't have them all up. And I kind of try to create a waterfall effect of all the hats. One with the bulldozer there was back when I used to haul heavy equipment and tear it down. I got up on the top left is the South Mountain bucket hat. One of my favorite brands is International Harvesters. And so anyways, just talking at you a little bit this morning. Just my thoughts, thoughts about what we talked about a little bit at our chapel service this weekend with a good friend of mine, Paul. And we talked about hospitality, and we talked about, and so as I was thinking about hospitality, I thought about what we talked about, just being hospitable with a smile, a thought, sharing a word of encouragement, godly wisdom, which comes through the fact that, it works like this. What we put into our mind. My other thing I do is life coaching. This is a hobby turned, I don't know, I just do it because I love it. I love the people. I love everything that's going on. I love racing. And I'd almost gave up on racing until I was hanging out, and I had started a Rat Rodder page because I personally like the Rat Rod style. I like all cars. To be honest, I like mostly all cars. Anything mechanical, I think it's cool. But anyways, get back to the hospitality thing. I met EJ Kowalski and his mom, and they made me feel so welcome. Mountain Mike at South Mountain, and I just want to tell you, that's a cool little small track. It's challenging to race on. My good friend of mine, the Mad Scientist, we're going to get some of his videos up. Has created what we're not sure what you're going to call the creation. The driver said maybe we'll call it diaper change, and I called it the Winged Wheelbarrow Express in honor of Willie Bosch's Winged Express, And that's the thing. What got me into the racing as a child was, and I'm just talking about my history here a little bit. What got me into the racing, my story was I was 10 years old. My mama ran out, and she used to go to these yard sales, and she brought home a Winged Express model, and I see old Willie Bosch there in his full racing gear, that nitrous hood, and that vent, that respirator, and I'm like, man, that's so cool. It looks like a almost like a space alien's what I thought, but anyways, or some kind of almost, well, didn't look human for him. Anyways, whatever. So on and on, I'm checking that out, and I was like about 14 and a half, and I bought my first car, and I got it home, and I parked it up in the driveway, and really hadn't talked a lot to my dad about it, and when he saw the car, he says, and they were away on vacation, and they came back, and there it was. And I knew what he was going to say. What is that? And I said, I planned this all out now. Come on now. Dad, that is an automobile. Trying to sound like I was French or something. Yeah, he said, it looks like a pile of junk. Get that out of the driveway into the back. What I'm going to say to you is that built a relationship between me and my father. He had frustrations with me when I just put new brakes on it and didn't realize the emergency brake cable froze up and we backed it out and it was colder than hell. And sorry about that little bit of language, but anyhow, it's alive. It was colder than blank blank whack. And so anyhow, it was cold. And you gotta imagine the garage is under the house. The big garage doors are open. Cold air is coming in, freezing everybody out. We're standing there on ice and we can't get the car in, and it's limited space because the bank's right there. And so and that's the side that the wheel was, the brake was locked on. So we have to tear this apart up against this bank and all these challenges. And that's how me and my father's relationship grew, was over this car. And I put a cam in it, done lots of things. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, but back to that hospitality. And so what I want to tell you about is be hospitable, be kind, share with one another, take care of one another. That's what we do at South Mountain Racing. I wish I had the names in front of me, but I seen 2 weeks ago, a guy broke something in his transmission. And whatever had happened, there was 2 or 3 racers gathered around, and I remember he was getting very discouraged. And they said, no, we're going to make this happen. We're going to get this car out on the track for you tomorrow, and they did so. And that car was out on the track, and I'll update this later with more of the information, but I'm here to share to you, South Mountain has a racing family community, a family atmosphere. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still competitiveness. They're still going out to win. They just do so, as JJ said, we handle ourselves well. The place was pretty clean, relatively clean after the event, and I commented to Mike, we have a great community that surrounds that track. And if you don't come there, you're missing out on that. And we're building that as a community. Sometimes Mountain Mike likes to talk about it like it's a racing park. And really, truly, when there's not many people there, I've sat up on that hill camping this past weekend, and I will tell you, it was like a park. Alrighty, folks. My connection's getting slow. I got a few other things to get done today. I got to work on the Ratmobile, so we can get down to South Mountain for next weekend's EMMR Glory Days on Sunday. And that's another thing I want to promote here, and I am promoting it, is we'll be there with our VIP lounge. EMMR is Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. It's a wonderful place to go. Admission is donation free. Free with a donation. Please donate. It's the only museum you're going to go to where they encourage you to really be around the cars. They'll help you. They do guided tours if volunteers available. A great little gift shop with they do a lot of sprint cars there, but as well as the drag racing, it is represented well. There's all kinds of racing in there. There's motorcycle racing. EJ Kowalski has usually has one of his Bonneville cars there, and he does the salt flat racing and that whole history with his dad and the sprint car history. And I'm up around Altoona there, and they have about the board racing. So I just want to tell you that, we have some great things going on. I get out to as many events as I can. Buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee. And what I'm talking about by buy me a coffee, maybe here later on, I'll be able to put in the coffee, but a link is called Buy Me a Coffee. And I'll put the link in the comments later, you know, because that way I could continue to improve, to continue to buy better cameras. And I'm going to tell you, this mad scientist and his winged wheelbarrow, I'm going to call it, or diaper change, he does some wild things, and I'm telling you, this car is wild. This car is wild. Alrighty, hey, this is Shiloh Rat Rotters, Papa Rats out. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. Work on your cars. Work on your relationships. Live life. Love life. Because I'm going to tell you, you can replace cars. You can replace money. You can't replace relationships as easily. Well, you can't replace a relationship, because when you break that relationship with that one individual, you can't just move on and put somebody else in its place. Nope. It's done. And maybe it can be repaired. Don't tell me you can't forgive and reconcile. There's always that possibility. But the fact of the matter is, time is the one investment that we cannot get back. There's no way of getting back time. We travel on through eternity, and eternity's now as well as out there. And the past is the past, and we live in the future. Or no, we live in the day. Yeah, I get confused sometimes. Oh well. I'm having a little rough morning. That's part of having, some of my physical challenges. But I'm going to tell you what, it does not stop me from getting out and doing what I want to do. I push, and sometimes I push too hard. But I love what I'm doing. I love my wife. I love my country. But first of all, in first place, and that's why I'm saying it last, is God is first in my life. I try to love God with all my heart so I can love everyone else. And that's the framework I live by, and my values. It's great to have been with you today and took this opportunity. So, peace out. Peace out. God blessings to everyone today. We thank you for hanging out with us today. And we just hope you have a blessed day today. We hope you have a blessed day today. All righty, let's get on down the pike.